Hey, one team that we didn't cover with NBA.com's John Schumann, and we appreciated his time, was the Lakers. And rightfully so. They didn't deserve it. Man, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I ain't even watched that game. You know why? Because I checked the score while I was out, and it was like 19-2. It was like 19-2. I'm like, over before it started. Which I just have a thought, and we'll get back to more important matters with the time we have remaining. I just have a thought I want to share. I don't have this workshop to the extent that I had NFL overtime all figured out.
Fresh.
I have NFL overtime all figured out.
Okay,
we'll just see if everybody comes around and realizing how right I am about that. The play-in tournament. We need to tweak the play-in tournament. Okay? It needs to be tweaked to where there's a trigger to the play-in. In other words, something is wrong with the system in which a team that is 10 games now under 500, and for that matter, another team that's 12 games under 500, plays for the right to make the playoffs against two teams, the aforementioned Timberwolves, who are 40-30, but the 7th seed, the Clippers 36-35, but the 8th seed, and then you go to 9 with the Lakers at 29-39, and the Pelicans at 28-40. There shouldn't be a play-in in the Western Conference. The play-in, to me, should be triggered by not the standings, not just 7 through 10 automatically in the play-in. It should be like you got to be within 3 games of the seed above you. So in other words, the Lakers at 29-39 aren't close enough to the Clippers to trigger a play-in. Like a 6.5 game, a 5.5 game difference, there shouldn't be a play-in.
Those are your hate,
like, you know what?
We got our
yeah, like exactly. Timberwolves and Clippers, they make it. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, right, but in the Eastern Conference, it makes more sense. You got Toronto at 38-30, Brooklyn at 35-33, Atlanta 34-34, Charlotte 34-35. They're in range to trigger a play-in. But you shouldn't get rewarded with a play-in invitation or a play-in participation 10 games under 500. Like, why waste our time? Like, LeBron's good for a 50-point explosion every now and then, but otherwise, the Lakers aren't worthy of play-in participation, let alone potentially making the playoffs. So imagine a world, what an injustice, if the Timberwolves at 7 lose to the Clippers at 8, then have to play the winner of Lakers-Pelicans, and in one game, they could end up, the regular season could end up being meaningless for the Timberwolves because they lose to LeBron, who goes off in one game after he beat the Pelicans in another game. Like, there's something to be said for the value and the legitimacy of the regular season, and it delegitimizes the regular season when a team that's 10 games under 500 can conceivably still make the playoffs through the play-in.
All right, listen.
It should be a trigger.
Let me tell you
something.
It
should be tweaked. We need to fix this.
Let me tell you something. I like it. I like where you're going with it. It's got to be refined a little bit because
it's got to be workshop.
There may be some imbalances. I like this a lot better than your overtime proposal, which I just like to just ball up and throw it right back in the trash. I mean, overtime proposal is terrible. Okay, that's terrible, and I just hate that you're
you
even.
Just haven't thought it through.
I hate that you even. No, I thought it through. And any kind of proposal that takes a problem and creates a new problem is not a good proposal. You created new problems here. We're trying to reduce our problems.
It's okay.
I don't like it. But I would say on this play-in, here's what we have to fix in your play-in proposal. One, it's not a reward for everybody. Like, some teams don't want it. Like,
it don't look like it.
Really,
it don't look like it.
You say I'm being, wait a minute, we don't have to do it? Okay, good. Like, New Orleans, they don't, come on. New Orleans, the Lakers, they don't really want to be involved.
That's what I'm saying.
Then
so why should we be subjected to this?
The bottom line, business, New York City, Adam Silver is like, wait a minute. We need it in the East and the West. We can't just go either or. We got TV partners. There's money involved here. It's money.
I'll say this real quick.
Can you line our pockets?
I'll say this real quick. We don't need basketball. We don't need more baskbasketball just for basketball's sake. We need good basketball, meaningful basketball between two good teams that are like equally, more or less the same, fighting for playoff participation. The latest CBA notwithstanding, I'll just reference, because I know they expanded the playoff field. No, in baseball, every division doesn't have a one-game playoff to get into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, It could be like that. You don't have to have balance in the East and West in terms of playing participants. It could just be, oh, they're really close in the Eastern Conference. We'll do a play-in tournament there. Western Conference, we already got our 8. We're all good.
But it's not about it's not about competition. It's a carrot. It's a carrot. It's a carrot for these sad sack teams.
The Lakers need a stick.
Keep their fans involved.
The Lakers need a stick. Okay, and we're not even gonna go through. You've already been calling for them to shut down LeBron James anyway.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.